Right now is about 8 p.m. this evening. There was an off-duty Pawtucket police officer who was involved in a shooting in West Greenwich.
Would that explain the huge police presence, or is that typical?
No, that would explain the huge police presence. Basically, what happens when there's an officer-involved shooting, there's a state attorney general's protocol that's enacted, which we enacted once the shooting took place. The state police are taking the lead on the investigation. The West Greenwich police are assisting in the investigation, and the attorney, as well as the attorney general's office.
Are you able to share who pulled the trigger in this
At this
case?
point, I cannot tell you who pulled the trigger. The investigation is truly in its infancy stages. We're trying to work through that right now and to try to get the facts. And as we get them, we will be happy to share them with the media.
Chief, does he live in this area? He was an off-duty Pawtucket police officer.
That's correct. I believe he lives in the town of Coventry.
He lives in the town of Coventry.
I believe so.
Is there anyone dead?
No. The injuries that the victim received, who was an 18-year-old, I believe, West Greenwich resident, were not minor injuries. He was shot in the arm. He's transported to Rhode Island Hospital, and he seems to be in stable condition at this time.
Okay. And was the two people involved or was there more than two people involved?
What do you mean by that question?
You mentioned a victim and an off-duty cop. Is there anybody else involved in this situation?
No.
Okay.
Were they in the same vehicle?
They were not.
Is the officer okay?
The officer seems to be okay at this point, but it's always traumatic when you're involved in a shooting like this, so we are worried about the officer as well.
Is this considered a road rage?
We know that the incident began on 95. It came off of exit 6, and it ended up right in front of the pizza parlor right up the street from here.
Is there video?
We're looking at that right now. I can't confirm that right now, but we are looking at that right now, and if we do discover any video, obviously it'll be taken in.
How many shots were fired?
I believe it's only just one shot was fired.
One shot?
Correct.
And was that from his personal weapon or service weapon?
At this point, it's still under investigation. The belief is that it was his service weapon.
And what town is the 18-year-old from?
I believe he's from the town of West Greenwich.
West Greenwich. And it was an incident that started on 95.
It started at 95, came off of exit 6, and ended up on Route 3.
And approximately what time is this, Chief?
Approximately 8 p.m. this evening.
And I know earlier I asked who pulled the trigger, but can we report that it was the officer that...
It was an off-duty
Off-duty.
Pawtucket police officer who
shot
fired his weapon.
The big thing, people in the area want to know is there a suspect out there? Are we okay? Anything you can say to put those
I can tell you
minds at
that the
ease?
community is safe. The incident is over, and it's under investigation. Nobody is in harm's way at this point.
And is there anything that you need from the public?
At this point, if there's anybody who witnessed the incident, they can come forward. They can contact the West Greenwich Police Department, 397-7191, or the Rhode Island State Police.
Okay, so the state police is the lead on this investigation, but you guys are also...
That's correct. Anytime the Attorney General's protocol is put into place, the state police will take the lead in the investigation. We will assist on that investigation along with the Attorney General's office.
Chief Ramsey, do you have many incidents of road rage in this area?
Not many at all. No.
And is the 18-year-old that was involved, is he someone known to law enforcement?
At this point, I don't know.
And the officer is cooperating with the investigation?
He's very cooperative with this investigation. That's correct.
So just so some incident starts on 95. They both, do we know who was following who? Like, was the officer maybe going after
So
the...
that's still under investigation. What's happening right now? I believe the officer saw something on 95 that was bad, and he followed the car to here, but it's still under investigation.
Who was the officer?
I do not know.
Was he possibly then following up on, did he maybe witness criminal activity of some kind?
It's possible, but this time it's still under investigation. I don't want to comment on that until we have the facts.
The shooting, were both of them outside of their vehicles, or I saw a lot of glass over there?
No, the victim was inside of his vehicle.
Inside of his vehicle.
Correct.
Do you know, did the officer believe that the 18-year-old had a weapon?
At this point, it's still under investigation.
Chief, the scene keeps expanding. Can you elaborate on why the investigative scene keeps expanding?
Well, because of where the shot was fired and where the car came to final rest, all that is part of the crime scene. That's all blocked off, and until we've completed our investigation, it'll stay blocked off.
The 18-year-old that was shot, you said shot in which arm?
I'm not sure.
And he is